Countless passengers before boarding experienced a moment of confusion at the gate when they noticed their boarding pass read Ryanair, but the plane they were boarding was either Malta Air, Buzz, or even Lauda Europe. So in this video we take a look at why Ryanair flights are sometimes operated by Buzz, Malta Air, Lauda Europe or Ryanair UK, what each airline actually does, and why passengers usually don't notice any difference once they step on board. And be sure to check out Simpleflying's flight tracker. From live alerts and data on commercial, military and government flights, it goes way beyond your standard tracker. It was built specifically for avgeeks, free and live, right at your fingertips. When most passengers think of Ryanair, they picture the Irish low-cost giant headquartered in Dublin. However, Ryanair's own conditions of carriage define the Ryanair Group as consisting of Ryanair DAC, Ryanair UK, Buzz, Malta Air and Lauda Europe. The airlines operate under separate Air Operator Certificates, or AOCs, while sharing the same overall commercial strategy. This structure allows the group to operate efficiently across different regulatory environments. Separate airlines can hold local operating licenses, register aircraft in different countries, employ crews under different legal frameworks, and maintain operating bases throughout Europe. To passengers, however, the distinctions are often invisible once on board, because tickets are sold through the Ryanair website and service standards remain largely identical. Although the aircraft may display different registrations or liveries, passengers are generally purchasing the same low-cost product regardless of which subsidiary operates the flight. How to understand if you're going to fly a subsidiary? The easiest clue is the flight code. Ryanair DAC flights generally operate under the FR code. Ryanair UK uses RK, Buzz uses RR, and Malta Air uses MW. The actual operator is often listed in the booking details or on the boarding pass. One of the newest members of the group is Ryanair UK. Established to preserve domestic and intra-UK flying rights following Brexit, the airline operates under a British Air Operator Certificate while remaining fully integrated into the Ryanair Group. Ryanair's terms and conditions identify Ryanair UK as the contracting carrier for flights using the RK airline code. Before Brexit, Ryanair could freely operate domestic services within the United Kingdom under European aviation regulations. Once the UK left the European Union, airlines needed different legal arrangements to preserve certain operating rights. Ryanair UK became the group's solution to this challenge. It allowed the company to continue serving the British market without disruption. Where will you encounter Ryanair UK? Passengers are most likely to fly Ryanair UK on domestic UK routes, such as London Stansted to Belfast, Edinburgh or other British destinations. Some international flights based around UK operations may also use the RK designator. If your boarding pass lists Ryanair UK, you are boarding a standard Ryanair aircraft, but just under a different operating certificate. Among the subsidiaries, Malta Air, do not confuse it with the defunct Air Malta, is perhaps the one passengers encounter most frequently, especially while travelling to typical summer destinations across the Mediterranean. Created in 2019, the airline has become a major component of the group's operations. Ryanair's official documentation specifies that Malta Air operates flights carrying the MW airline code and serves as the contractual carrier for those services. The airline was established to support Ryanair's growth across Europe while leveraging Malta's aviation regulatory framework. Aircraft registered through Malta Air can be found across the continent more often than in Malta. Travellers frequently report booking a Ryanair flight only to discover Malta Air branding on the aircraft. Where are Malta Air flights most common? Malta Air aircraft are heavily utilised on routes across Italy, Spain, Greece, France and other major European markets. The carrier supports numerous Ryanair bases and can appear almost anywhere in the network. Malta Air commonly operates the following routes: UK, Germany, Scandinavia to Spain, Greece, Italy, intra-Italy routes like Rome, Milan, Palermo, Catania, and high-demand summer routes across the Balearic and Greek islands. Buzz may be the least familiar name to casual passengers, but it has become one of the most important operators within the Ryanair group. Originally known as Ryanair Sun, the airline operates under the RR airline code and is based in Poland. Ryanair's own conditions of carriage specifically identify Buzz as a separate contracting carrier within the group. Buzz has grown significantly in recent years, supporting Ryanair's expansion across Central and Eastern Europe. The airline operates both scheduled Ryanair flights and some charter services. Industry observers increasingly view Buzz as a critical component of Ryanair's future growth strategy in Eastern Europe. Where are you most likely to fly Buzz? Passengers are especially likely to encounter Buzz on routes involving Poland, the Baltic states, and parts of Central Europe. Airports such as Warsaw-Modlin, Kraków, Gdansk, Wrocław, and Katowice frequently see Buzz-operated aircraft. Interestingly, many Buzz aircraft wear standard Ryanair branding, making it difficult for passengers to identify the operator unless they check the aircraft registration or booking details. Aviation enthusiasts often point out that an SP-registered aircraft is a strong indicator that Buzz is operating the flight. Buzz typically operates the following routes from Poland: Warsaw to London, Kraków-Manchester, Southern Europe, like Greece, Italy, Spain, and from the Czech Republic to the UK, and Mediterranean leisure routes. Passengers booking Ryanair from Warsaw Chopin Airport are highly likely to fly Buzz, especially during peak travel seasons. Lauda Europe stands out from the rest of the Ryanair group because it operates Airbus A320 family aircraft rather than Boeing 737s. The airline traces its origins to the aviation ventures established by Formula One legend and entrepreneur Niki Lauda before becoming part of Ryanair's expanding portfolio. Today, Lauda Europe primarily serves as an Airbus-focused operator within the group. For passengers, this often means slightly different cabin dimensions and seating arrangements compared with the Boeing aircraft commonly associated with Ryanair. Otherwise, the service philosophy remains fundamentally the same. Many travellers who board a Lauda-operated aircraft only realise the difference when they see the Airbus A320 waiting at the gate. Since Ryanair's core fleet consists overwhelmingly of Boeing 737s, the Airbus experience can come as an unexpected surprise. Where are Lauda flights most common? Lauda Europe is especially visible in Austria and several continental European leisure markets. Routes touching Vienna and other Central European destinations are among the most likely places to encounter the airline. For aviation enthusiasts, Lauda flights offer a rare opportunity to experience an Airbus while still travelling on what is effectively a Ryanair service. Lauda typically operates the following routes from Vienna: Spain, for example, Alicante, Palma, Malaga; Greece, like Heraklion and Rhodes; and Italy, Rome, Milan, Naples, and Palermo. Many passengers compare Ryanair's subsidiaries with traditional airline codeshares, but the two concepts are fundamentally different. In a typical codeshare arrangement, a ticket may be sold by one airline while the flight is operated by an entirely separate company. Examples include flights marketed by Lufthansa but operated by Air Dolomiti, or services sold by Air France but flown by regional partners. With Ryanair, the situation is different because the operating airlines all belong to the same corporate group. Ryanair, Malta Air, Buzz, Lauda Europe and Ryanair UK share common ownership, commercial strategy and branding. The differences largely relate to regulatory requirements, aircraft registration, employment structures, and operating certificates, while keeping the same onboard products and services. That means travellers generally should not worry if their booking suddenly changes from Ryanair to Malta Air or Buzz. The flight remains part of the same airline family. In practice, the aircraft, cabin procedures, baggage rules, booking platform, and onboard service are usually indistinguishable. While seeing an unfamiliar airline name on a boarding pass can be surprising, it simply reflects how Europe's largest low-cost carrier has organised itself to operate efficiently across multiple jurisdictions. What do you think? Have you ever booked a Ryanair flight and been surprised to find yourself boarding a Buzz, Malta Air, Lauda Europe or Ryanair UK aircraft instead? Let us know by leaving a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more aviation content. See you next time. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. Visit simpleflying.com.